This is the Vauxhall Mokka-e. It's electric and it's a very, very green car, literally, as you can see. It's actually very stylish, and today I'm gonna give this a quick first impression review, and I'm gonna take it on a short test drive and see how it is. Now, if it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Sholly. I post these videos every other day. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Anyway, I've been driving this around for an hour or so now, and there are a few things I really like about it, and there are some things that I don't like so much about it. Let's first start with something I don't like, and that is the infotainment system. It is a little bit crappy. It's very laggy. You got to press really hard in order to get where you want to go. But thankfully, there are physical buttons under it. So if you need anything, you want to change your station, you can press the audio or the navigator and it'll bring up the navigator. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, although you do need a cable for it. But one thing you don't need a cable for is the charging. It's got an electric wireless charging tray, and that's a fantastic option to have. You have a physical volume button, your hazard on the right, your lock button on the left, and this button brings up your vehicle settings. All very simple and straightforward. So the infotainment system is not that great. However, we do have physical buttons to compensate for it. Further down, you got a vent, and then you have your climate settings. Now, one thing I like about the climate settings is that you have physical buttons. You could turn up the temperature very easily, and you could turn up the fan speed. But one thing I'm not so sure about is how do you change which vent the air comes from? There doesn't seem to be a button for it. It's not simple and straightforward. I'm sure it is somewhere. If you do know where that is, please put it in the comment section below. Under that, there's a 12-volt socket and a little USB cable. Then you got the wireless charging, which is lovely, and I like that. Now, let's talk about the drive selector mode, because you have this interesting, nice piece. It does feel very good. However, one thing I don't like, so I do like that, but one thing I don't like is that when you put into park, you got to press this button, which feels horrible. It doesn't feel right. I mean, obviously the other way is just to, when you're in drive, you can just turn off the engine and it will go into park by itself. Now, another thing I like and I don't like so much is it's a little bit of a complicated one, because I like this finish. It looks very nice, very modern. However, this black piano does get dirty and scratchy very easily. In the front of it, you do have some settings. You got your lane assist and your parking sensors and all that kind of stuff, which is lovely. Nice thing to have a standard. Talking about standard, another thing it has a standard on this car is it's got adaptive cruise control, which is great. Only expensive cars have that. So good on you, Vauxhall. I do think all cars should come with that as standard. Going further back, you have a couple of cup holders. They are rather small, but they do the job. And then you got a armrest with a little bit of storage inside that does also slide forward. It feels good. It's fake leather. A nice place to rest your arm. Talking about storage, you got a decent sized glove box, and you have nice big door bins. But when you get down to the door bins, this is where the quality goes a little bit shitty. It's horrible plastic stuff down below. However, the areas that you see and that you really feel most of the time are decent quality. I like especially this kind of quilt material they have in the door. It's nice. It's a nice feature. It's a nice touch. It's very easy to get into a comfortable driving position. You have reach and rake, and the general dashboard, the cockpit looks alright. You got all the information you need. Your battery power, how much you have left. You have your speedometer and your speed in the middle. It does read the speed signs. Right, let me just show you the seats, and I'll show you the back seats as well. And I'll show you the boot. Let's have a look. Now, the driver's seat, the passenger seat, this is a fake leather. It's very comfortable. They got very nice support on the side and in your bottom area. This is manually adjustable. However, you do have electric lumbar support, which is lovely. The back seats, however, although it's the same material, the entrance is very small to get in. I can see straight away it's very tight back here. You have ISOFIXers, you got storage behind the seats. But me as a 5'8", it's very, very tight. My knees are literally in the back of the driver's seat. Headroom is okay, but it feels very, very cramped back here. Let's go have a look at the boot. I believe this one is 410 litres. And now here's another thing. It's a little bit annoying on this car, and that is that it seems like the only way to open the boot is by pressing the key. Is by pressing the button, the middle button on the key. If there is another button somewhere else, please post it in the comment section below. I haven't found it. The boot is decent size, it's 410 litres. If you pull the seats down, you get 1060 litres. There's a very high lip here, which is a little bit annoying. Charger cable, there's no spare wheel. And on that bombshell, let's take it for a little drive and see how it feels. All right, Vauxhall claim this to have a 210 mile range. In the real world though, you will probably get about 160, and if you drive it really carefully, you might even get 180, but I wouldn't count on that. Driving in the city, there are times that you just can't help it. Not much you can do. And another thing I find a little bit annoying, I need to find out how to switch that off, is that every time there's a speed camera coming up, it beeps to let me know. Now, usually that's nice, but it's a really loud, annoying beep. If you know how to switch this off, please post it in the comment section below. Thank you. Right, straight away driving off, it feels very content, very quiet. There are 3 driving modes. There is Eco, Normal and Sport. We're currently in Normal. It just feels good. It feels like it holds the road nicely. The steering is direct. The steering is extremely light. I love that about this car. It's got very, very light steering, as do Vauxhalls in general. If we put it into Eco mode, what happens is the accelerator turns into a sponge, literally. You put your foot down and nothing happens. It's a little bit frustrating, but if you want to get the maximum from your battery, this would be the best driving mode that you can choose. But being that we're on a kind of winding road here, I think it would be best to test it in the sport mode. So let's move this up to sport, and the speed is now going up to 40, and straight away I can feel a difference. It's become, the steering is a lot more direct, the throttle is powerful, it just kicks off. The steering is a little bit heavier, but I think there we go, that was a noise. I guess there's a camera coming up. But I think as a city car, although you might not like it, I think the sport mode is the best one it's got, because the Eco mode is too light. The normal mode is not here and not there, but once you put it into sport mode, this car becomes a whole load of fun. It's responsive, it's fast, it holds the road, the steering is direct, the braking is okay for an electric car. I really like it. I really like it as in the sport mode. It's fantastic. Good on you, Vauxhall. Anyway, my final verdict on this car, I know it's a short review, but I think it's not as good as the Ford Puma. I think that's definitely a much better car. The quality is definitely a lot better, but the price is a lot more expensive. But as a cheap city electric car, I like it. I would definitely consider buying this if this is the kind of car I was looking for. I do like Vauxhalls in general. I like the prices on them. And best of all, they're British. I bet you this car is not made in Britain. If you know where this car is made, post in the comment section below. It might surprise you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a fantastic day.